Spaghetti and meatballs is on the menu here at the Young's house, and I am super excited to show you this recipe. Who doesn't love meatballs? You love meatballs. So now listen, this meatball recipe, you can use these meatballs if you wanted to make like a meatball sub. So you're kind of going to get like 2 videos in one, but we are making spaghetti and meatballs, and I'm so excited. It has honestly been, I guess I'd have to say, a couple years since I've made spaghetti and meatballs. I make meatballs all the time, so this is super fun. Here's what you're gonna need. I have 1 pound of ground beef. It's an 80-20 ground beef. And then I have 1 pound of ground turkey. You're gonna need your favorite spaghetti sauce or tomato sauce, or you can make it homemade. I got nice sweet Vidalia onion. I have fresh garlic, and we have some sugar. Cause when I make spaghetti, I got to put the sugar in there. We can talk about this in the comment section. Do you believe that sugar belongs in the spaghetti? If not, state your opinion. And if you do, tell me all about it. We're gonna put a green onion in. If you wanted to do some mushrooms, you can. All right, Parmesan cheese. And I like the kind that comes in this shaker bottle. When you're making a good meatball, always use fresh parsley. It just gives it that oomph and that what it's supposed to taste like feel, okay? We have 1 egg, doesn't matter what size. We will be using some breadcrumbs to kind of bind together the meatballs and make them nice and soft like they should be, okay? Anytime I make spaghetti, I'm always using thin spaghetti noodles. It just tastes best to me. So now I have some spices. Spices is gonna make it come together and taste good. Salt and pepper. We will be using a little bit of Old Bay seasoning. If you didn't know, Old Bay seasoning is used for more than just seafood. We're using some today. I got garlic and onion powder, a little bit of red pepper flakes. We're not gonna use enough that's gonna like knock you out, but just enough so it tastes good. Make sure your hands are clean. Spaghetti and meatballs, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get started with our spaghetti noodles. Now for this water, guess what I did? I put a tiny bit of oil in there. Okay, and so now I salted the water. We're gonna cook these noodles for 11 minutes, and that'll cook them to perfection. I know, to some of you, it may seem a little different because usually I don't put oil in my spaghetti noodles. Today I'm putting the oil in my spaghetti noodles so they don't stick, because guess what? Today we're not mixing the sauce with the noodles. When you mix your sauce with the noodles, you don't have to use oil. Right? Because if you use oil, the sauce won't be able to stick to the noodles and coat. And since we're doing it separate, the noodles will go underneath the sauce. I put a little bit of oil in there and some salt for flavor. The first thing we're gonna do, let's get started chopping up some vegetables, and then we're gonna saute them in this pan so we can give our spaghetti sauce great flavor. I'm going right in with the onions. I'm going to use 1 clove of fresh garlic, and I'm going to use some bell pepper, and we'll saute them all together in this one pan. Let's chop up our vegetables. My pan is heating up. I got a half of a medium-sized onion. I'm going to get it right into our pan, and I'm going to cut the green bell pepper the exact same way. You have the option to take your garlic and put it into slices if you want, or you can dice it up, okay? So let's get that going. You really want to wait till the onions are nice and translucent, which is kind of like clear in color, okay? And then we can begin to throw our sauce in, okay? We want these vegetables to get nice and soft, and we want that garlic to fry up so that it'll give a more garlic flavor into our spaghetti sauce. A nice fresh clove of garlic. This one is absolutely huge. I'm not going to use that full clove, but I am going to knock it with the side of this knife, kind of like that. It helps for the skin to come off, and then you're good to go. Okay, so let's take the little piece that I want to use. That piece right there, that's plenty enough, and then I'll put this away for maybe a dish that I'm going to make tomorrow, okay? So now we're going to break it down. We'll let the onions and bell peppers cook together for a little bit, and then I'll turn around and put the garlic in so it can fry up. Let's make meatballs. And these meatballs are super flavorful. They're so delicious. You can use any ground meat. If you wanted to use a ground chicken, a ground turkey, or all ground turkey and ground beef, like I'm doing today, you can. If you wanted to use a ground pork, you can. So really have fun with whatever meat you decide. I have 1 large egg is going to help to bind together the meat, make it nice and soft, okay? Let's set that over there for a second. Anytime you're making meatballs, you have to have some fresh parsley. It doesn't matter if it's a flat leaf parsley, if it's an Italian parsley, just get you some in there. You don't need a whole lot, just this little bit will do. Put about a half a cup of breadcrumbs. It also helps to bind together the meatball and give it a nice soft texture that I absolutely love. You have the option to take your meatballs and literally drop them into the sauce and cook them that way. So if you want to, you can, okay? Now, or you can put them into a frying pan, get them nice and golden brown, and after they're golden brown, then you put them into your sauce. Or you can do like I'm going to do today, and once my meatballs are made up, I'm going to throw them onto a cookie sheet, into the oven, let them get brown. Once they're brown, they go into the sauce. You have to have Parmesan cheese in a meatball. You want that thing to have good flavor. You want it to taste good. Get you some Parmesan cheese. This is just the kind that I like. I know a lot of people's like, why that kind, Gina? How come you're not using, whatever. This is the kind that I love, and I loads it in there, okay? So now, let's season it. Your favorite seasonings, or you can use Gina Young seasonings, okay? I'm going in with salt, black pepper, of course. Okay, today we're going to switch it up, and we're putting some Old Bay seasoning. I always like to tell everybody, I know I already said it, but I'm going to say it again. Old Bay is not just for seafood, it's for everything. It makes everything taste delicious, okay? And then we're going to put us some garlic and onion powder. On purpose, I'm putting a nice amount in there, right? Because we like flavor, and our taste buds want that flavor, right? That's garlic and onion powder, and these little bit of red pepper flakes will be for our sauce. I'm going to mix everything together. Let's go ahead and mix around our bell peppers and onions. This salt sauteing up so beautifully. Like I said, let them get a little more cooked before you decide that you're going to put that garlic in there, okay? Let these vegetables release that little bit of water that it has to release, and then we'll put our garlic in. But in the meantime, I'm going to do this. Listen, there's a lot of times when you see me make a meatball and I put some ketchup in there. If you wanted to do that, you can do that today. Make up our meatballs. The fun thing about cooking at home yourself and not going out to your local restaurant is you can make it like you want. You can put those ingredients that you want. You know how you go out to a local restaurant, you expect the food to be hot, and it never is. It's going to be hot at your house. It's going to have all the flavor that you want, right? The noodles are going to be cooked perfect, right? So I love making recipes at home myself because 98% of the time it tastes better than, the local restaurant. It does. Making these meatballs, make them as big or as small as you want. I love that I decided to do the hamburger and the turkey mixed together because it makes for a gorgeous meatball. You hear me? Absolutely. I mean, the flavor is so good. You could just eat these meatballs just like this after you cook them, of course, But you don't need sauce or anything. The flavor is there. And if you wanted to throw a little bit of bouillon powder into these, you can. It's going to add that much more flavor. Using 2 pounds of meat is going to feed a nice amount of people, okay? So if you're just cooking for yourself, you'll probably use just 1 pound. And now we're going to take this time to go ahead and put that fresh garlic in. This is the perfect time, okay? So get it in. Let it get golden brown. Don't burn it, because if your garlic is frying up and it gets too dark, it'll have like a real tangy taste that we're not looking for. The vegetables have begun to soften. The onions are clear in color. These meatballs are going into our oven 350 degrees until they're done. In that 11 minutes, our noodles have boiled. They're done. We're going to get them nice and drained. My hands are nice and clean. The garlic, the onions, and the bell peppers are nice and soft with that tiny bit of oil that we put in. If I can open this up, there we go. Let's go ahead and get it in. Use as much as you want. Being honest, when I use or choose my spaghetti sauce, I always like the chunky kind. So this is the name brand, but chunky means it's got all kinds of vegetables in there that I absolutely love. So I'll probably use both of these jars. Noodles are over at the sink and they're draining in a colander. Okay, we have our sauce here. We're gonna make it taste good, okay? You can't be afraid to season. My family likes a little bit of spice in the back of the palate. Not enough to knock your socks off, but enough that you can taste. That's plenty. Red pepper flakes, okay? And there we go for the sugar. 1 and 2. All right, lovely. I know, I have to laugh because some of y'all are like, Gina, no sugar. And I say, yes, more sugar. All right, go ahead with the pepper, the salt. We're gonna put garlic and onion powder. If you like a fresh basil, you can put that in here. If you want Italian seasoning, you can put that in. I gotta find my Italian seasoning and I will be putting some in. Let's give this a nice mix. Now for somewhat of a secret ingredient, Parmesan cheese in your spaghetti sauce is chef's kiss. Yes, it is. I'm gonna put some in and then we're gonna taste our sauce because you wanna know what you're feeding to your family and friends, and then you can just sit back and twiddle your toes knowing that it tastes good what you're feeding to people, okay? So we're gonna give this a taste, all right? And then we'll taste it once it really heats up for a while, okay? Let's see. Perfect. Look at this sauce. This right here, this is what sauce is supposed to look like, nice and thick. Not runny. If it's runny, something's wrong, right? This right here, and it tastes good, y'all. It tastes so good. Meatballs are done, and they taste absolutely amazing. What do they taste like?
Amazing.
Amazing. We didn't even dip it in the sauce. You hear me? Like, we ate it just like this. Oh, my goodness. When I tell you there's flavor in here, and guess what I did? I know I did, but you don't have to. I snuck a little bit of bouillon powder in there. Y'all, this meatball is spectacular, and I love it. And here's the thing, I cannot wait until you all try it, and then you come back. Come back and let me know how much your family loved it. I want to know all the details. So now let's go ahead and mix in nice and gently. You don't want to break them all up, right? Because these are tender. You can move it around, and they're not going to break up, but just be gentle. Okay, so here's what I like to do. At this point, really, it's done. Sure it is. It's done. You can turn it off, but let it simmer. Let the two marry together just for a little bit. Really, as long as you want. You know, I'll probably do about a half an hour, and then we're good to go. And we're going to come back. We're going to make a plate. Enjoyed this video? Give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, what you waiting on? Tell your family and friends. Tell the world what Gina Young's doing in this kitchen every single day. And Father, we thank you for your hedge of protection, your mighty love, and your mercy. Amen. Look at that. Thank you. Let's do it. I'm all excited. I know you are too. Let's grab that spaghetti. Oh my goodness. And then we're going to get one of those chunky meatballs. Oh, get on there. I know.